Live. Coverage you can count on. This is Fox 30 Action News at 7.
Deacon death investigation. Who the family thinks is responsible for killing this Jacksonville father of 16, even though police have not named suspects. Plus, fear at the finish line. The charges one man faces in a bomb hoax at the finish line of the Boston Marathon, all as the city tries to remember last year's tragedy. And facing Dozier's ghost. The search underway to find all of the boys buried at the Florida Reform School as we get our first look at one of the young victims. 23 minutes of nonstop news, weather, and traffic is just ahead. Fox 30 Action News this morning starts right now.
All right, we'll start with a breaking traffic situation. Derek, what are we looking at right here?
Yeah, this is a live look at US 17, just north of the Doctors Inlet Bridge as you make your way towards Jacksonville. Crash there, a couple of vehicles involved, could slow your morning commute.
All right, in the meantime, let's welcome you in right here. Thanks for joining us here on this hump day. I'm Mike Bars.
And I'm Lindsay Gardner. Yes, thanks for being with us here at 7. And there is a big chill in the air to greet you as soon as you step out the door here this morning. That is the weather headline. So let's begin with Fox 30 meteorologist Julie Watkins checking the weather changes.
All right, yeah, we are definitely looking at a big cool down out there at this hour. Temperatures mainly in the 40s from Waycross, Folkestone, 45 right now at the International Airport in Jacksonville. And we've got 48 for Fernandina, 45 Brunswick. Taking a look at Duval, 45 again, and that includes West Side, 48 South Side, and then 49 out towards Mayport. So this cooler weather is going to linger through the afternoon. So even though we'll see temperatures get bumped up right around that 10 o'clock hour to 54 degrees, it's going to get stuck in the 60s. That's normally been our overnight lows over the last couple of nights, but we're looking at a daytime high of 64 here. Hour by hour forecast. You'll notice increasing clouds as well, where we'll have a little bit of sunshine that will quickly get covered because the wind's coming in out of the northeast. So the other big weather headline will be those strong northeasterly winds blowing about 15 to 20 miles an hour, making it rough going at the beaches, in fact. So there is a small craft advisory that is posted for the Atlantic Ocean. That's checking your forecast. Weather and traffic on the ones continues now with Derek Odom and an update in your first look traffic.
Thank you, Julian. We're watching this traffic news here. This is on US 17, just across the Doctors Inlet Bridge there, as we look at police who are in the median there trying to help traffic move along. It looks like they're squeezing by in both directions. So that is the good news as we zoom out just a little bit there. It's just across the Doctors Inlet Bridge on the north end of that at Holly Point Road. So they updated the original location. They thought it was closer down on Fleming Island, but it's right there just across the bridge there. So as you make your way northbound toward 295, it may slow you down just a little bit, making your way from Clay into Duval County. But right now, it seems like traffic is getting by. And of course, we'll stay on that scene as they clean up that crash. Also, a crash report on the State Road 16 ramp to I-95. So as you make your way in from St. Augustine on I-95, watch out for delays there. Police are on their way to the scene. Back over across close to Baker County, US 301 northbound at 228, which turns into Normandy Boulevard. A crash there. Police are just now arriving on that scene. That's the latest from the Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic Center. Lens?
7:03 in breaking news right now out of South Korea. We have new video of the ferry that sank with nearly 500 people on board. Take a look at this horrifying image here. 95% of this ship is underwater. And in the last hour, we have learned the death toll is on the rise. 3 people are now confirmed dead. They include a woman, a man, and a boy. 14 more are also injured, and close to 300 are still missing. Of the nearly 500 people on board this ship, more than 300 of them were high school students. We have video of some of those young students who were rescued, wrapped up in blankets as they were plucked from the water there. Officials say more than 150 people have been rescued here this morning, but rescue efforts are still underway.
7:04 right now. We're following some breaking news on a pair of power outages in our area right now. 46 Florida Power and Light customers are without electricity right now. That's according to FP&L website. It says the outage was caused by a tree or a branch that damaged some equipment. Power is expected to be restored by 9:30, and we're waiting for a return call from Florida Power and Light for more information. On the south side, 21 JEA customers have the power back on right now. A crew was just on the scene off of San Jose Boulevard. They say a tree branch caused the problem that knocked out power in the early morning hours. Crews suspect heavy rains and wind impacting some old trees in that neighborhood from last night's storm may be to blame. A jealous fit of rage. That's what a local family believes is behind the death of their loved one. They tell Action News Andrew Stevens was a deacon at Pentecostal Church right here in Jacksonville. His body was found in a smoky apartment on Tuesday. Action News' Russell Colburn is live on the north side. Russell, investigators are calling this case suspicious.
That's right, and the cause of death has not been determined for a local church deacon described as a loving man with a big family and a big heart.
Andrew Stevens, a local church deacon, is described as a loving man with a big heart and a big family. Tonight, Stevens' children told me they know who killed their father, calling it a jealous fit of rage.
She was just calling, threatening him, and he had said if anything happened to him, to go to her.
Police haven't named a suspect yet. The victim's daughter tells me her father recently ended things with the mother of his newborn child, and that the woman made threats to burn his house down. And I'm told this wasn't the first time.
She did another fire, set his clothes and stuff on fire a couple of months ago. So, yes, she got a problem with setting fires.
I reached out to JFRD to get more information about that incident, but learned police and firefighters were never called. Stevens' family tells me they believed their father had everything under control, but that changed Tuesday when a maintenance man went to check on Stevens.
He went to check. The front door was locked. The back door was not. There was smoke leaving the apartment complex or the apartment. They dialed 911. Fire rescue came and found the victim on the inside of the apartment.
I'm told Stevens' car is missing, and tonight these two daughters have a message for the person they blame for their father's death.
Let JSO get you. That's the safest way.
That was our Aliana Gomez reporting. JSO has not named a suspect. Live in Durkeeville, Russell Colburn, Fox 30 Action News.
All right, Russell, JSO is also investigating the cause of a fire right now. They are not saying if it was arson or not.
7:06, and 3 young teenagers are accused of carjacking and kidnapping a man from Jacksonville Beach. Our Don Lopez breaks down right now just how far police say the culprits went to get his cash.
Well, Linz, the crime happened in the early morning hours of Sunday, April 6th, just after the Springing the Blues Festival. A report shows that 30-year-old Zachary Taylor was getting into his car on 11th Avenue North and 1st Street. Then 3 teens approached him and started punching him in the face. That's according to police. They threatened to kill him if he got out of the car, then drove him to a bank on St. John's Bluff and Beach Boulevard. And that's the second location that you'll see right here on our map. To force him to withdraw cash, his card there was denied. Then the 3 suspects drove, according to police, to the Walmart, the 3rd location here on Beach Boulevard. And that's when they say Taylor ran into the store and called police. The 3 teens drove off in his car. Police say they later found it in an Arlington neighborhood. Investigators were able to find the suspects by tracking Taylor's debit card and using Walmart surveillance video. Their names are not listed on the report, but the teens are each 14 and 15 years old. Mike?
Dawn, it's 7:07 right now. It's supposed to be a day of remembrance and healing. Instead, it took many back to a year ago in Boston. Police there were forced to blow up a backpack after a man went running down the street yesterday yelling, "Boston strong." That man was 25-year-old Kayvon Edson, and he's under investigation and under arrest. All this happened hours after the city wrapped up a bombing anniversary ceremony.
Fire in the hole!
Here, the bomb squad blew up not 1, but 2 suspicious packages, and they weren't taking any chances. Investigators say Edson was carrying 1 package with a rice cooker inside filled with confetti. Police have not said who owned the second backpack left near the finish line. Big cities like Miami, Orlando, and Tampa are receiving millions of dollars, all to prepare for an event and prevent this kind of terror seen in Boston a year ago. Our Washington Bureau looked through the Homeland Security documents and found these 3 Florida cities and 39 others will share a $587 million grant. The money will be used to help agencies train and buy security equipment.
Your Action News time is 7:09, and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is investigating the murder of a local high school honor roll student. We brought you this story as breaking news Tuesday morning right here on Action News this morning. We now know it was children who found the body of 17-year-old Aaron Brooks while they were walking to school. Brooks was found stretched out in a yard face down near Clyde Drive and 4th Avenue on the north side. He was shot 3 times. Brooks was an AB honor roll student at Rebald High School. This morning, police are trying to track who would want him dead and why.
I seen he was dead. He had like 3 bullet wounds on the side, some in his back. It was just crazy.
Neighbors reported hearing gunshots around 9:30 Monday night in that neighborhood, but they never called police. JSO checked their records and confirmed there were no calls for help. If you know anything about this student's murder, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers, 866-845-TIPS.
7:10 right now. For the first time, loved ones are speaking out only to Action News about the death of a Keystone Heights high school student now being remembered as a hero. 18-year-old Shane Savoy was hit by a pickup truck walking to the bus stop along County Road 214 on Friday. Moments before the crash, investigators say he pushed his classmate, Ellen Cornett, out of the way, likely saving her life. Friends say they're not at all surprised by his actions.
He always put others first, and he was always willing to help. If he had problems, he'd set those aside to help anyone else.
Shane was a member of the school's culinary arts program and had aspirations to be a chef. His funeral will now take place this Thursday at Lake Hill Baptist Church.
The Center for Disease Control is warning about a new dangerous mosquito disease. Experts say it is only a matter of time before we can see cases right here in Northeast Florida. Action News' Jesse McDonough joins us live from Jacksonville South Side. And Jesse, local counties are already taking action to fight this disease known as Chick V.
Yes, local control crews for mosquitoes are already starting to spray areas like Duval County, St. Johns County, and Clay County. However, the division chief tells me that standing water like this makes it a breeding ground for mosquitoes, some of which could potentially carry this dangerous disease. Now, crews have already sprayed parts of the south side, North Jacksonville, and northwest of downtown, targeting shallow standing water where mosquitoes can lay up to 200 eggs each. Now, this disease known as chikungunya is already spreading from mosquito bites throughout the Caribbean, and they say it is really vulnerable here because of the rain and warm temperatures, not to mention Jacksonville being a port and having many flights to and from the Caribbean.
It's very, very hard on the joints, making the patient feel like they're being drawn or contorted. It hurts so bad that they can't straighten up.
Now, once again, officials are already beginning to spray in the three big counties, Clay, St. Johns, and Duval. And they're urging residents to clear all standing water around their homes, as well as always wear long sleeves and repellent. Reporting live in Duval County, Jesse McDonough, CBS 47, Fox 30 Action News.
And we are making it easy for you to find a service request in your neighborhood. If you need to place for one, you can find the link on our website, actionnewsjax.com.
Now, your weather and traffic on the ones.
All right, starting off on a very cool note here this morning. 45 degrees temperature, Jacksonville, 43 Folkestone, 42 Waycross, and 43 right now Valdosta. We are looking at some clouds hanging overhead of downtown Jacksonville. All these clouds coming in from the east, and we can anticipate really clouds hanging on tight here throughout much of the day. Maybe some sunshine for the next couple of hours if you're seeing it out there right now, but those clouds will be spreading from east to west. Now, temperatures are going to get stuck in the 60s for this afternoon from about 1 to 5 o'clock. That's where we're going to be sitting, 64 degrees, and then cooling off, of course, as we go into the overnight hours. But where is that warmer weather? We've got it on our 7-day forecast, and I'll show it to you in just a bit, but let's get an update on the roadways as weather and traffic on the ones continues with Derek Odom.
All right, Julie, thank you so much. As we take a live look at 10 and McDuff, yellow light right there as it's building up as you make your way into downtown. Following that crash on 17, just across the Dr. Inlet Bridge there at Holly Point Road. Police are on the scene. Looks like they're keeping everything in the median there, so traffic seems to be getting by, but watch out for a minor delay. And a crash over on State Road 13, right by the entrance to Shands Bridge at 16. They're saying one northbound lane is blocked there. That's the latest from the Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic Center. Mike?
All right, Derek. Time right now is 7:13. Later on today, the 4-year-old boy critically injured in last week's deadly daycare crash in Orange County will be released from the hospital. Caleb Infante suffered a broken femur, a cracked pelvis, and 2nd and 3rd degree burns over his body in that crash. Caleb's classmate, 4-year-old Lily Quintus, died in the crash. 12 other children, including Caleb, were injured.
This morning, we are getting our first look at what one of the young victims buried at the Dozier School for Boys in the Panhandle may have looked like. Now, this new sketch shows what University of South Florida researchers believe is an African-American boy between the ages of 8 and 10 years old. The sketch is based on skeletal remains already uncovered at the now-closed Reform School in the Panhandle. So far, anthropologists have uncovered 55 bodies. That is 24 more than state records ever showed were buried there. U.S. Senator from Florida Bill Nelson says researchers may now find even more young victims. But those digging through the school site say this search is difficult.
I think eventually they're going to find another cemetery. because back then they did not bury the two races together. And so no telling what stories are going to unfold.
Meanwhile, officials are still trying to track down the relatives of 36 boys known to have died at the school.
All right, 7:15 right now. This morning, students at a Pittsburgh area high school will resume classes after a student knife attack last week. This was the scene just 1 week ago outside Franklin Regional High School. This is right outside of Pittsburgh. A 16-year-old boy is accused of stabbing 21 students and a security guard. 5 students suffered critical injuries. 4 remain in the hospital this morning. At a rally held at the school on Tuesday, students, parents, and community members gathered together to show support for one another.
God was really looking out for us when this happened. Everything could have been so much worse than it actually was, and we're so grateful.
The teenage suspect is being held in juvenile detention center right now. He's being charged as an adult with attempted murder and aggravated assault.
The Jewish Community Center in Overland Park, Kansas will reopen today for the first time since Sunday's deadly shootings. 3 people were killed in the shootings. Federal investigators say this was a hate crime. The suspect in this case, white supremacist Frazier Glenn Cross, is charged with the 3 murders. He appeared in court on Tuesday, and despite the hateful nature of the shootings, families that attend that center say they will not let fear stop them from coming back.
You have to get right back up on that horse and keep on riding. People can't stop you, stop the way you live.
Police say there will be extra security at the Jewish Center today for the reopening. Thursday, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder will travel to the community center for an interfaith memorial ceremony.
Bond is denied for 5 people accused of kidnapping the father of a North Carolina district attorney in retaliation for prosecuting gang and drug crimes. These are sketches from the suspects from their court appearance on Tuesday. The FBI rescued Frank Jansen last week from an Atlanta apartment where he was being held. Agents say they are still looking for more suspects in connection with his kidnapping.
Well, this morning, a former radiologist in Georgia who told at least 10 women with breast cancer they no longer have the disease is preparing to spend the next several months in prison. Rachel Raprager pleaded guilty to giving the women false mammogram results. She's sentenced to 160 days in prison. She'll serve that over the next 10 years, then also serve an additional 10 years on probation. The sentence, says one victim, is not fair.
I'm sentence, living a sentence, of having cancer, then you should live a sentence also behind bars.
The judge ordered Raprager to begin serving her sentence tomorrow morning.
U.S. Senator Marco Rubio is warning that terrorist training in Syria may soon attack American interests. Rubio made that comment during a foreign policy speech on Tuesday out in Texas. He also criticized the president for its drastic cuts on the military. The one thing he did not discuss is his rumored presidential run in 2016. Georgia Governor Nathan Deal has signed 3 new bills into law benefiting military families. The new laws require all medical facilities to accept TRICARE, that's the military health insurance program. Secondly, a veterans court system will be implemented for military members who have run-ins with the law. The third law will allow out-of-state military members to apply for hunting and fishing licenses in Georgia without having a state ID.
7:18, and we are learning new information on the possible impact of cuts to local military bases. A new report from the Department of Defense suggests the sequestration level budget could hurt military readiness if they are kept past 2015. The Army says it would have to reduce their troop levels to 420,000 active duty soldiers. The National Guard would cut to 315,000 members. The Air Force says it would have to reduce its fleet of these unmanned aerial vehicles and drones, along with cutting the entire fleet of refueling tankers. The Navy would also be forced to put 6 destroyers in storage and retire an aircraft carrier. That would leave 1 less for a possible move to Mayport.
Now, your first alert forecast, Jacksonville's most accurate.
Boy, do we have some big changes right now happening out there with our temperatures. That cold front has swung through. All the rain is gone, so we're not anticipating any wet weather, at least not coming from the west. There could be a few showers. Light showers at that for areas just at the beaches. But the rest of us will be feeling the big cool down that's anticipated through the day today. Look at all this cold air that is covering much of the eastern seaboard, where some of those temperatures are sub-freezing, in fact. So we are in the 40s We should be in the upper 50s for the overnight low. Well below that, or mid-50s, I should say. First Alert Skycam Network, we've got clouds in place, and look at this. Little bit of green that could tuck in from the east, not only today, but also as we go into early tomorrow with a very strong northeasterly winds. Can't rule out the clouds that will move in and just a few showers for the coastal counties, a little bit drier inland until we get into Friday. Then we've got another weather maker that is going to provide us some heavy rain here going through the morning into the afternoon. And it's looking like it is just going to be a soggy day overall. So in terms of rainfall totals from today through Friday, it's looking pretty impressive. In fact, close to 2 inches, over 2 inches. In fact, where we've got the red, 1 inch to 2 inches, where we've got the purple, and that covers much of northeast Florida. All right, now for today, AccuZone forecast. Again, if there's a shower, it's going to be on the light side from Brunswick down through St. Augustine with a high of 61 degrees. We've got 60s for the metro spots as well, but windy across the board. Coming in out of the northeast right around 15 to 25 miles an hour. Still breezy, but not as windy the farther inland we go. For Lake City, we're looking at that wind at about 20 miles an hour with a high of 67. So small craft advisory, high risk of some rip currents. Seas will build 5 to 7 feet out there. And we are looking at some beach erosion to happen through today. And also tomorrow, it's going to take a little while for those winds to die off. All right, so here it is, your hour by hour. Cold start giving way to a windy and cool afternoon. 64 is going to be the high. As we go into the next 7 days with that weekend is always in view, it is going to be breezy again for Thursday, but warmer, 71. Notice the overnight lows in the low 50s. Those will come up to near 60 on Friday. And boy, is the weekend looking nice, especially after getting through these next couple of days. We've got upper 70s for Saturday and right around 80 on Sunday with a fair amount of sunshine in store for us. That's Check Your Forecast. You can always log on to our website if you'd like more information, and that's at actionnewsjax.com. Weather and traffic on the ones continues now with Derek Odom and an update on the roadways.
Definitely busier out there in the last few minutes. 295 and San Jose Boulevard, yellow light as you make your way southbound off the Buckman Bridge. Crash clearing up on US 17 just across the Doctors Inlet Bridge there at Holly Point. Police have been on the scene for a while. They're towing those cars away now, so that is the good news, getting that out of your way. Travel time still looking okay. State Road 13 northbound, which of course turns into San Jose Boulevard. One northbound lane blocked right here at the Shands Bridge, State Road 16, so watch out for minor delays through that area. And up on the Arlington Expressway, right at Mill Creek, right as you get onto the expressway, a couple different crashes reported in this area. Police are en route to both of those scenes, so watch out for delays as you make your way from Atlantic onto the expressway heading toward the Matthews Bridge. That is the very latest from the Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic Center. Mike?
All right, Derek, breaking up a backlog, the plan one Jacksonville City Councilman has to clean up storm drains to stop wasting city money.
Plus, missing the mark, the 2 reasons state agents say a local Head Start center received 3 violations during its latest inspection. And a funding fight, who now has to approve completion of the South Bank Riverwalk that's coming in at $2 million over budget. Your time right now is 7:20.